Chicken Little was always afraid. The sky is falling! There's not enough air, land, food, or water to go around for everyone. Chicken Little is always afraid of Ebola, terrorists, immigrants, and other imaginary fears. What kind of world, though, do we really live in? Does the earth not produce enough food for everyone? Does the earth not have enough water for everyone? Is there not enough air to go around? Is the sun going to blow up on us? What one person considers abundance, another person considers poverty, and this makes it all even more confusing. But here, we will be examining the reality of lack and abundance in this world. There is an abundance of everything that we need in this world. The idea that there is not enough to go around, it comes from the lizard brain. The lizard brain is always struggling and fighting to make sure that there is enough to survive in the world. It is only aware of the conditions within a few feet of its den. Most people, when they're growing up, are constantly reminded by their parents of the principle of scarcity. They are always told to eat everything on their plate and not waste any food. We were always reminded not to wear our clothes out when we are going to play outside. We were always told that we wanted to ride the bouncing fish at the supermarket, that we had to save our pennies. Constantly, we hear the discussion of our parents. We just don't have enough money to cover our bills. They were constantly complaining about how expensive everything was and how hard it was to keep up. When we needed to buy something, we were always reminded not to spend our money too foolishly. First, let's examine the importance of specific things in our life. What is the most important thing to you that you would panic if you didn't have for more than 30 seconds? The answer is not your family. They will leave the room, go on vacation, and you will not panic. This is not God, because God is always inside you and never will leave you. I'm sure you have answered air by now. If someone were to put a plastic bag over your head, you would panic and fight. How much air, though, is there in the world? Is there enough air for it all to go around? And how much money do you pay for air? The answer for this, with air, is it's basically free. There are some instances where you may be suffering from a disease, scuba diving, underwater, or locked in an airtight room, or you may need to purchase some bottles of air. We are not talking about air conditioning yet. Even homeless people can breathe unless a cop is sitting on their chest. The next question that you have to ask is, what would you panic if you didn't have for a whole day? And most people would say water. How much do you pay for water? Many people buy water in bottles, but this has been found to be toxic because of the plastic used in all the bottles. Most stores, libraries, corporations will have a drinking fountain that is free to all. Even most of your neighbors, when you knock on their door, they'll give you a glass of water or point you to the hose in the backyard. And water too, here, is proven. It's basically free. The next question is, what would cause you to panic if you didn't have for a whole week? The answer that most people say is food. Well, does it grow on trees? What doesn't grow on trees grows on the ground, or swims, or crawls on the ground, or swims in the ocean. Can you trade food for money? They do this at grocery stores all the time. Therefore, money grows on trees. The planet Earth, in reality, produces every single day 1,000 times more calories than each person on the planet needs to live. All 8 billion people. What are we all worried about? If you were to take all of the potential oil and bring it to the surface with the wave of a magic wand, it would be an ocean that would cover the entire planet 30 miles deep. If you did this with diamonds and you brought all the diamonds to the surface of the earth, it too would be an ocean that would cover the entire planet 30 miles deep. If you were to take all of the 8 billion people and create one city for them, with the same kind of population density as Paris, France, it would cover a size of the planet about the size of Louisiana, and the rest of the world would be empty. The amount of energy that we get from the sun on the earth every day is thousands of times more energy than we need to run all of our machines. The amount of energy that we receive from the moon, from gravity waves, it too is thousands times more energy than all 8 billion of us can use. Can you imagine the energy that it takes to rise the oceans up and let them fall with the gallons of water? And that is what this energy that we're talking about, the abundant energy on our earth. How much potential energy is in the space that one single hydrogen atom occupies? If we were to take one little slice this wide, the size of a hydrogen atom, how much energy would we have? We would have enough energy to recreate the universe thousands of times. Money functions in the same way as water. Just as water is consumed and eliminated back into the river to be consumed and used by someone else, water is never consumed and destroyed or disappears in any way. This is like matter and energy are never destroyed. They just move from one form to another. I ate a hamburger last week. Today, it is just a pile of crap. Next week, some grass will grow on it. The week after, a cow will eat the grass, and then I'll be able to eat another hamburger. Money functions just like this because you get your paycheck and you pay your bills, which will create paychecks for other people, who will then pay their bills, which will create a paycheck for you. It's all the same money passing from one person to the other. The only thing that we seem to be lacking in these times is love, kindness, and respect. As we have learned earlier, it is very easy to get these things. We just have to give them away. In order to really comprehend the abundant world that we live in, you need to be able to exit the lizard brain and move into the human brain. Take some time and meditate on the abundance of the world. Journal on what you have meditated on without any judgments. Let an hour pass and then journal on any judgments that come up for you. How would life be different if money were no object and you lived with the awareness of the abundance of the world? You are great and wonderful. Thank you for joining us on the road to Kaivala.